Greetings, adventurers, and welcome to GrowedUpGeek Gaming, your narrative home for roleplay and narrative-focused Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition campaigns. It's Wednesday night, which means we present our high-level limited campaign, Dynasty of Dragons. We will real quick meet everybody, do a quick recap, and then jump into our 10th episode. So, yay, nice round number. All right, I'll start. I'm Manny at GrowedUpGeek on your social media, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. You can catch us live here on Twitch Tuesday and Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. And those videos are then uploaded to YouTube on the following Mondays and Tuesdays. I am your host and Dungeon Master this evening, also cat herder and wrangler of monkeys. Speaking of which, meet my particular circus that I've done this to myself. And so here we are. We will get to them. Kind of a new chapter going forward tonight. So we get to kind of not be pressured or not have the kind of anxiety that we've had the last couple of weeks with dragons and overthrowing governments and the such. Let's start with Daemion. So last week, you found what we would call a theatrical way to announce to the city that their shitty replacement mayor was dead. Is that an underselling elevator pitch or what?
I mean, hey, there was a great celebration to be had by all. Everyone seemed quite pleased, in fact.
Everybody is absolutely going to remember that moment. Tell us a little bit about Daemion, aside from dramatic funeral theatrics.
I mean, yeah, he's a mercenary most of the time, and so he usually doesn't do stuff unless he's getting paid for it. But I'd say he got paid in a way. It was both incredibly satisfying and, made a lot of people happy. And let's face it, at the end of the day, he does very much care about people.
Sure. And, you had your own way of giving them what they wanted. So, in a zero-sum game, you came out ahead. Well done. All right. Let us go to our Dungeons & Dragons Keith Jackson, who, while Daemion was arranging quite the dramatic reveal, he's up in the air broadcasting it to the other two party members just so everybody is aware of what's going on. Nick, tell us about Banquo and so how was that, letting everybody know what was going on as it happened?
Well, Banquo is a lore bard, and this is definitely going down in the lore books as one of the greatest death totems of all time. That was just fantastic. Banquo is impressed and positively aghast.
All right. We'll get a little bit of a scolding, and then we will head off. Maybe you'll find something interesting today, Banquo. Let's move to Tess. So, despite all the shenanigans from your former classmate and traveling adventuring companion, Daemion, you still were there, pick up the pieces if that piece was a dead body. And try to kind of lend the least amount of decorum to a funeral procession as possible. Tell us about Tess, and does she wish she did more? Or is it, look.
Things might have gotten a little out of hand, guys.
Yeah.
I think you summed it up pretty well of like, wow, hey, everything got a little crazy. Couldn't anticipate how any of this would turn out. This is the one kind of predictable spot I can help right now. Let's go in. And at this point, nothing's off the table as far as her as far as what the day is going to be like. So maybe a little bit of back talk with the Lord's Alliance for the first time is due.
All right. Like I said, nobody likes to get scolded. Last and not least, our party member who's seen some of the worst of the world has to offer, amplified by this dragon situation, and is not coping well. A lot of death, a lot of killing. John, tell us about Basall, how Basall's doing, and if this is the kind of thing that's going to fade, or is this kind of just going to keep building and building and building?
I mean, Basall is not doing well between the violence and the murder, and then I want to say mockery, but I don't know if that's the right word or not for the funeral procession. He's not okay. There is some shit that is not, he's not handling well. I want to think that he is going to be okay. He's going to come to terms with it and do what has to be done, but I don't know yet. It depends on where this goes.
All right. That is our amazing party, dealing with quite the end of our most recent kind of arc, resulting in the discovery of a topaz dragon, almost dying, and after that, setting some things right and still finding despair. So last week, after the aforementioned topaz dragon encounter, the party insistent upon returning to Melvaunt to kind of tie up some loose ends before heading off on the next kind of task as dictated by Lady Gwendolyn and the Lord Alliance. The party returned to the Green Rug Inn to meet the mayor's son, who had sent them off on their fraudulent adventure previously, asking to pay up for what he owed, provided the proof that they had agreed upon, which point the mayor's son revealed that his father had died, and through a kind of questionable means of succession, he had assumed leadership of the town of Melvaunt, and decided as mayor he wasn't going to pay the party for the task that they had done when he wasn't mayor. And in so, some heads were thrown around. A cocky bunch of bodyguards, even after seeing their charge killed pretty easily, stayed and took their best shot. They fucked around. They found out, not in the positive light. Dispatched of them. Met up with Braxton, the blacksmith, who was quite exuberant at finding out the mayor was dead. Got out of town, left his belongings for the party to take. You all took some stuff, yeah? Some ore, some various things, yeah? Okay. Set Lyle, their favorite bartender, on his way after everything kind of fell apart in town. Joined a funeral procession, found just the right moment to tell the entire town that the shithead mayor was now dead, leaving them without government, but positive light. The guy they didn't like was dead, and in a very dramatic, very Dungeons and Dragons kind of way, the town absolutely found out, was overjoyed, dropped the body. It was a thing. The party, having seen and felt that they'd done enough, had a busy morning, returned back to the throne room of Neverwinter Castle, where we will pick up with the party overrushed by that bright light and warm sensation of the teleportation box, the light of Gwendolyn. You arrive back in the throne room, exhausted, having just come from this funeral procession, gone. That took, we'll say, a dramatic left turn somewhere along the way. And Lady Gwendolyn sits at the chair, staring at the ceiling, just completely paying attention. Even Harold, for a second, seems kind of into what they're doing. Oh, my lady. My lady. Gwendolyn still kind of... Lady Gwendolyn. Huh? What? And she snaps to reality and presence, meets eyes with you, and just... Okay. Where do I begin? Do we not have enough problems as is without the overthrowing of a local government? You are supposed to be the finest heroes of Faerun. Why is it that these great, mighty heroes summoned by the Lord's Alliance have mucked things up so bad? There is a dead dragon in the center of an idyllic seaside town that until today stood untouched for 400 years. For the first time in 1600 years, a dragon has been seen. The ripple effects throughout Faerun cannot even possibly be conceived of at this time. Many of these things will transpire beyond the reach of the Lord's Alliance. My master insists that you be more careful in your dealings, not only with the artifacts, but with any dragons you may encounter going forward. They cannot escape their vaults.
Was that Harold speaking or Gwendolyn?
Gwendolyn. She snapped up real quick.
Having worked with the Lord's Alliance, what master might she be referring to?
Do not be naive to assume that people in power do not answer to others.
That's me asking.
Oh, okay.
Out of character.
Just, is anybody in charge really like in charge in their own person?
Like, I mean, according to my notes, yeah, she's kind of in charge.
Then the fact that she would acknowledge one at all is probably the takeaway. And she's going to sit back down, and for the first time, this aloof kind of space cadet, essentially, seems very present, very focused, thoughtful, concerned in her own way, perhaps not the best way of expressing it. And you'd see her sitting in her chair properly, feet on the floor, just kind of shifting. Now, if we can all just agree to grow and learn from this, I must insist that you be off to Aglarond. It is far enough away from Thar that word of a dead dragon will not reach it. But as soon as it gets around, your quest becomes infinitely harder. The dragons are no longer a secret. You will not be the only ones searching for them. And she sits down and just, okay. I'm sorry. You do understand the gravity of this, yes?
Probably better than you do.
Okay. Very well. Is there anything you would ask of me before you go?
Two things. Do you know of any factions that are going to be searching for the Dragon Vaults specifically? I mean, obviously, as Nexi of power, they, all sorts will be coming around. But is there anyone in particular?
We always worry of Thay. Always worry of Thay.
Okay. And is it imperative that we keep the dragons alive?
You can see her kind of look to Harold, and Harold turns to her. It may be preferred, but not required.
Right.
Very well.
Did it seem in that moment like Gwendolyn was answering to Harold?
More conferring with.
I do have a bit of a question, more of a personal nature.
Sure.
Sorry if it takes me a second to collect my thoughts. It's been an interesting couple of days. Things went a little sideways, much like a bag of cats running around a room. You're talking about the greatest heroes. I'm an architect, and I've been wondering for a little while what I'm doing here. And when we found Mirabar, you weren't really surprised by what was inside. So, because of some information that's kind of come to light for me recently, I have to ask, how much do you know of my connection with what's going on, and how much did you know before all this started?
You are not the first group of adventurers to answer this call. No one has gotten as far or returned.
You knew what we were walking into.
We knew of the vaults and their contents. Beyond the purpose of imprisonment, nothing else. They need to be secured.
Manny, can I do an insight check to see if, like, it felt kind of like she dodged my question there a little bit.
Okay.
Like she didn't give me like a straight yes or no on if she knows about what Tess saw in her vision.
Okay.
Insight's not great, but let's give it a shot. And I'm gonna go ahead right off the bat and add 5 from a flash of genius. She wants to know what's that. All right, that's 24.
She almost seemed to say that you are disposable and that if anything was to happen to you, you would have more. There would be somebody right behind you. Probably not taking too much time to consider people individually. Finding people of great renown, asking them, sending them, not hearing from them again, except for, you.
All right, so. All right.
All right. Anything else that you may ask before getting out ahead of this chaotic news to break?
Basall, you got anything?
A whole lot of anger. I'm actually trying to come up with what I want to say, how I want to say what I want to say. Because she's knowingly sent other groups, and then they sent us with zero information. And I don't think Basall has the capacity to put that into words.
He's more or less done what Climajack
The
did
audacity.
to us.
Right. The audacity of this bitch.
Yeah, except she knew what she
favorite
was
Harry
doing.
Potter
Climajack
book.
was just an idiot.
You know, because the shit that we've gone through is atrocious at best. And other groups have gone. They knew what we were walking into, and it was, oh no, hey, go check out this mine.
Mine is a terrible thing to waste.
The blacksmith. Love
Everyone
that
takes
joke.
psychic damage.
No, I get a +2 to my health.
Everybody make a
Because that
con
made me
save.
happy.
Everybody make a
That
con
made-
save. Like that hurt your
Right.
soul. So she kind of looks around. Still, despite being silent, has not, zoned out into her own little world. Very much making eye contact, making sure everybody's good.
No. She doesn't need an insight check for that one. You should also know that, if you don't already, I guess, Climajack killed his father, almost certainly. Or he covered it up if he wasn't competent enough to do it himself. There was stab wounds on the body.
We
So
suspected that all along, and the ripple effects, not so much. The swiftning of a change in leadership is most appreciated by the Lord's Alliance, and I'm sure the people of Melvaunt.
but you're gonna yell at us about a coup when you was the power vacuum that arresting them was going to cause not expected? I guess I'm glad I'm not a politician.
It's some of us. It's not an easy life. Very well. I hope you will enjoy the change of scenery as well as the much more bearable climate. And she snaps her fingers. The warm light and the warm sensation rush over you. And as it subsides, quick shout out to Reddit user On Two Legs for this legit amazing map. I just wanted to give credit where credit is due. And as the light subsides, it's markedly warmer, and the smell of salt air fills your nose. You find yourselves in a very average-looking farmhouse. The walls are made of mud brick and thatched roof above you. All of the windows are covered with paper to obscure the view, and a secure door stands before you, sunlight peeking through the cracks. And you will be down here. X. What would you all like to do?
I would like to rage.
Seeing that coming.
I think Tess is just taking a minute to breathe and find some mindfulness in everything that's happened in the last 15 minutes.
We unbamf and Basall, that bitch. Like he's still, you could tell he's just like, he's angry. He's so angry he's incoherent.
What part of the map are we on?
Where the X is in like the southeast corner. Down here.
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
I don't think that she expects us to succeed no matter what she calls us. So we should keep that in mind with a little bit on our own. And I never really thought I'd say that. But here we are.
I think what our goals are may not always, or may not continue to align with what their goals are. But for now, it's the only lead we have. If we, following their orders, commands, whatever, are the only lead that we have. So I say we stick with it at least until we can find our own bearings to see this through.
So much.
I would have abandoned this already if the consequences for failure weren't so dire.
Yeah.
The most useful as a hub for transportation right now. We don't have to like the rest. Tess is going to pull out her notebook as well, knowing that Gwendolyn has indicated that she has eyes on situations at different times. Just going to write down, I don't really trust the vague master she referenced among all this. And I'm not sure what Herald Steel is anymore. We also didn't see what, where that work went. And this is going to show everybody.
Oh, what, in case she's like listening?
Yeah, because she's, but essentially just kind of like, not like, look at this, everybody. Oh, there's the scrying orb. Just like discreetly.
Okay.
As she's pacing around the room, just like, hey, look.
Everybody to one way or another agrees. Yeah, man. For real. All right. The farmhouse seems deliberately like empty. It seems like literally just a shell. Probably exists just for this exact purpose, for the Lord's Alliance to bamf people around. Sunlight peeks in. Warm. Salt air.
Similar story to the last place we got sent to. Just some rundown, empty building.
Is there anything that we know about this town, this region?
Geographically, it's next to Thay. It's predominantly a peninsula. It's really big trade. It sits at a very nice spot on the Sea of Fallen Stars. Probably more geographic things about it than anything. It's kind of nondescript. Like, if somebody was to have to make stuff up about it, you would have to make it up because there's not a lot written about it.
And do we know anything about the culture or the government here?
As a big trade city, it's probably exceptionally cosmopolitan via trade and just access to travel.
Do we know the name of the city?
It is Velatalar. Here, I'll put it in.
Okay.
Oh.
Then yeah, I can't say I know much personally.
Yeah, Manny is from the Sword Coast and the Dalelands now.
Banquo, if you want to give me a history check for the government.
That'll be a 13.
There is something non-traditional about their system of government that you just kind of go, huh, I remember something being weird about that. That's it. Outside of your, mayor, lord, your typical feudal kind of concepts. This one lies outside of that.
Okay.
Faye is the one that's like a mageocracy, right?
Yes, and that's literally the next country over.
Okay.
So, I would turn to everyone and let them know what I know, what vague things I know about this place, and say, I don't think that there's going to be, just a person in charge or something. I can't quite remember what their system is here, but it may be more complicated than Melvaunt was.
I mean, I'm kind of okay with steering clear of authority figures for a little bit.
So what's our play for searching for the vault?
They didn't even give us any leads this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, given that they know that something's going down, I kind of thought they'd give us a direction or something.
Yeah, or contact or something.
But are we really surprised they're letting us go blind?
Well, no, I guess not.
They certainly like to portray themselves as having a great wealth of information, except they're either unwilling or unable to part with any of it.
Well, information is currency in some manners.
And they've said that they've thrown a lot of people at this problem. You don't tell disposable pieces that, all your secrets. So,
Well, that gives me warm fuzzies.
yeah. I will say a lot of the work I've done was a lot more organized than this, but I don't know that building streets and such is really on the scope that this is.
Yeah.
Well, I guess at this point we just got to put our ears to the ground.
Yeah.
Big place. People are bound to be talking.
It's worth listening for any local legends. That was a pretty good rangefinder last time. The Man in the Mountain.
Yeah.
Let's get the lay of the land, I guess.
Yeah, and we have the map had an approximate area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down here in the bottom corner. Whee. The only thing that's not numbered. So yeah. All right. Exiting the door into the bright sunlight, the nice breeze off of the water that you can see off in the distance. Excuse me. Seagulls flying above, the ambient smells of dense forest to the west or to the east, and then a walled city lies to the west.
So we're on the northern part of the peninsula.
Yes.
Yeah, I was surprised too, but the X's are just a very vague telling of where we are.
Yeah.
So if I was building a dragon vault in this peninsula, Banquo pulls out one of his maps of the area of the Sea of Fallen Stars in general, which he's traversed to most of the coasts. I suppose I would start with somewhere where it's easy to get underground without running into the water table. So I would probably put it in the mountains.
That does seem to track the things so far.
Perhaps if we look for a tavern or a jobs board or something, we can see if there's anything strange going on lately, anything people have heard, anything people want investigated, leading us towards that way. Or if we hear something that indicates somewhere else, we can follow that lead instead.
Yeah, I worry about making the assumption from past experience that the vault will be underground. We don't know that for sure.
Could be underwater.
That sounds like a headache and a half. But yeah, I think like their secret. I don't think it could be somewhere, unless there was powerful warding. I don't think it could be somewhere that people would just stumble on.
Well, there is an elven forest here, which is good news for us. We'll be able to fit in a little bit easier this time, with a notable exception. But that's a lot of ground to cover. If it's hidden in that forest, we could be searching for a very long time.
Yeah.
That's why I think trying to find, I don't know, some sort of bounty work kind of thing, and seeing what the local attitude is right now. What's up?
Need to find trouble and make trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're speaking my language.
I mean, things also like I don't agree. I mean, I don't disagree that reaching out for information is a bad idea. That's not like that's the only way forward. But things got really out of hand and messy when we got entangled last time. And I love you guys, but I wasn't around about how that all went down. If we can keep it a little tighter, I think I'd be a little more comfortable.
Yeah, well, I think that's why that's a good point, and that's why maybe starting with small odd jobs to try to use that as a waylay or as a way to pick up on what's going on, instead of marching up into the whatever form of rulers they have here and asking what they know. Might be able to keep us a little bit more incognito.
Yeah, just hope we don't run into any more classmates, I guess. I'm never going to a reunion again.
Why did I hear all of your names come up in a story recently? Where's Clamberjack? What happened to that guy? Remember him? Do you guys remember him? That's like, it's crazy. Did you ever see him out and about? Nope.
No, doesn't ring a bell.
Actually,
Really
once.
got ahead in his classes.
Maybe twice.
You know, the last time I saw him, he really lost his head.
I assure
Yeah.
you, it was no more than 2 times.
He was doing whatever he could to get ahead in life.
Head of his class.
He really was the kind that would lose it if it wasn't screwed on.
These are probably the most messed up jokes I've ever told. Shall we?
Well, way to make light of it. Yeah, so dense forest lies to. Oh, thank you for the east and west notations. I do appreciate it. Dense forest. The road just kind of makes its way before disappearing into like the distance. It's very dark, deep forest, tight canopy, not a lot of light cascading through. And then off to the west, thank you, this walled city. And as you kind of stand there contemplating your choices, it looks like there are a couple of groups of humanoids like walking towards you, headed towards the woods. Like look like they're carrying lots of things, like very heavily loaded.
What kind of things are they carrying?
It looks like a lot of people have like big like collections of like clothing, kind of important maybe mementos. It's not just like fleeing in a crisis. It looks like they have been selective in what they're taking. Like they chose these things. But all of them have to be like carried in some kind of way. Everybody's got like their arms full and stuff like that.
Y'all think we should ask what's up with them?
Just looks like moving day to me.
I'm wondering if they're making sacrifices.
As
Comforting thought.
the first group gets a little closer, you notice that it's a group of two, and they are both Eladrin. Both falls, actually.
What season are we in now?
Fall.
Oh, not that that's how Eladrin work.
Yeah,
But
it's more of a mood ring type thing.
All right. I guess as they get close, I'll offer a friendly wave.
They're heavily burdened, look like they're carrying like some really nice, kind of elven aesthetic, like furniture, like trunks, kind of does his best. Hey, good day, travelers. Lovely day, isn't it? And just kind of happy and just kind of soldiering on as he carries his what appear to be like a lot of like worldly possessions.
I'm starting to think that he's trying to get us to rob them. Like,
He's got $100 bill hanging out of his pocket.
A t-shirt that says "Rob me." As the other group gets a little closer, as this one passes, you notice they too are a group. This time of 3 Eladrin, 2 adults, and a younger, bordering on adolescent Eladrin. These 3 all summer.
Also with their seeming worldly possessions.
Yeah.
This time I'll ask, is Velatalar full?
Velatalar.
No, we're going home. And like the younger one seems kind of excited. They knowingly like nod and smile at each other. We're going home, traveler.
Tess is gonna kind of like turn her head and like cast detect magic.
Okay.
And just then turn back and just kind of eye him like something weird going on here.
You get a very faint ambient kind of glow off of the actual beings. Most likely they're kind of inherently fey nature. But nothing sinister, nothing from like an abjuration school, like they're expecting to be, something to happen or they're taking precaution. They just appear to be going home, as the one said.
No enchantment magic.
All right, fair enough. Maintain concentration on that for a while.
Okay. Which direction would you like to go? Towards the city, or you want to follow the Aglarond?
Follow them
Where's
home.
home? Yeah, follow them home, take their stuff. But yeah, Tess asks, where's home?
Oh, it's, and they kind of look around. It's beyond the veil.
Like,
Of course.
Is that a thing that like
Feywild.
means anything? Is that what that means?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Do you really need all of that at home?
It has been thousands of years since we have been able to return. We wish to be there together once again.
Well, is there anything happening in the city that you could tell us about on your way out?
No, this is a great place to live and to be. It's very diverse. It's very learned. Ooh, is it learned? There's a great spiritual part to this place. It doesn't call to us like home does.
What you kind of sparked my curiosity. What changed with you said you weren't able to go home for a long time. What changed?
And they kind of look at each other. Some say it was haunted.
Okay, well, what's haunted?
Our home.
Like by ghosts?
By an unwelcome presence.
In-laws.
And with our lifespan, a short trip is years to your kind.
I don't think it has the experience to know how to react to any of this.
Yeah. Not feeling them enough to like follow them really.
You're interesting, but not that interesting.
No, I think they're very interesting. It's just, gosh, I have no idea what the lead is. Like, I feel like this is the lead. I don't know where it's going.
Apparently to the Feywild.
Yeah, I feel like Manny just went like, either, hey, here's your red herring about what the next dragon is,
Yeah.
or hey, here's what the next dragon is. One or the other. So, net zero information. I'd like to roll insight on the DM.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so they just continue on. You notice, like I said, like a very like happy gait about them. They all seem very jovial as they pass, friendly to answer some questions, and just kind of constantly keep moving as they all kind of eventually burst out into this old elvish song about protecting your children and going back to the beginning and how all will be right back at the beginning.
I like this place better than the last place already.
Mm-hmm.
We got songs. Just wait, there's so much more. About to go Billy Mays on all y'all.
Well, shall we?
Okay, off to town.
I think so.
And an outsider perspective on all of that.
Okay.
About how many is the full like group of the Eladrin that are moving through?
You saw a pair. The first one, just two Autumn Eladrin, and then what appeared to be a family of 3.
Okay, so just 5.
You've encountered 5.
Okay.
As you head in towards the walled city, the beautiful coastline, just off to your right, beyond some cliffs, ships in the harbor, some for trade, some for like the purpose of pleasure. Some of them very impressive, if any of you kind of know anything about boats. As you make your way, you'll see 2 farms also on the right-hand side of the road as you walk towards the city. And then out beyond what appears to be a very large like building complex kind of standing out oddly just at the very edge of the forest. And as you continue along the road, you'll see in many different like handwritings and the particulars change, but many a sign that says help wanted, no wizards.
That's a fucking mood.
Yeah.
Multi-class count.
Some of them you'll see they'll be like actually printed as opposed to just kind of scrawled with poor penmanship, but some of them will be printed with official logos of trade guilds, craftsmen's guilds, and they are just stuck in the ground all the way along the road, but to a notice, every single one of them, help wanted, no wizards.
All right, now, I can't say it has anything to do with what we're doing here, but I really need to know what wizards did to these people.
Yeah.
They're neighbors to Fae.
No, I get that, but I want to know exactly what happened. There's a story there.
Absolutely fair.
Definitely something worth knowing just for curiosity's sake.
Yeah.
Well, hide your wand, Tess.
I don't. They're
One.
it's like calipers. I got a scale.
Do the signs say anything specific, like call this scrying orb or anything, or just help wanted?
Or any kind of
There's a-
description of the job.
Pieces of parchment to tear off.
Like some of them are dock workers, blacksmiths, vendors.
I know what I'm going to go do.
Mm-hmm.
What, do you go get a job?
Saul needs some hammer therapy.
It's a mood. It's a mood.
You make your way into the walls. They are not gated in any kind of way. just wide open. The first building that you're going to see, we'll call it number 6 on the map, looks like very impressive fortified building complex. Bars on the wall, bars on all the windows, the walls very sturdy stone, a big field kind of in the middle of the complex with grass tramped down, some archery targets, some attack dummies.
Does it look official or like some sort of clan guild?
No, it's essentially like a square city block. It's pretty big. If it's not the official government, it's a mercenary company so big that could afford something this large.
Okay.
As you get a little closer, you notice in the corners of the buildings where gargoyles sometimes are adorning the building, these happen to be griffins.
What do y'all think?
I mean, about the sign or in general, because, like,
Yeah.
Gwendolyn said something just changed, and those Ladrons said something just changed.
You don't have to stop at everything. If this doesn't interest you, we can move on. I won't be hurt.
Still worth getting an outside perspective, like see if anyone who isn't Ladron knows.
I suppose if this is a like armory kind of situation, they might know if there's anything funny going on, and they might have, I don't know, we need somebody to take care of our light work kind of things going on. We could stop and see if there's like a notice board or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how long the return has been going on? If it might just be those 5 living here. I haven't met a ton of Ladron before.
Yeah, I suppose if there was something concerning about it, they would have probably at least started to investigate it. If not, no, closed case, don't care.
Feywilds are also weird, apparently.
That's true. And if everything's going through this gate, yeah, I'd stop through and see if there's anybody we could talk to.
Yeah.
There's like it's high walls, no windows on the first floor, like most secure buildings are. The only kind of entrance you see are giant heavy iron doors with a very obvious, kind of peephole on the other side. And next to that gate is a notice board that you see just completely covered. Just people putting their notification over something else. A lot of them help wanted ads, like for jobs, blacksmiths. The docks seem to have quite a bit. The market stalls seem to need to be filled. And all of them, the same note. Help wanted, no wizards.
I guess I'll go up and knock on the door.
Yeah.
Like just echoes. Door's heavy as hell. Like it does not give at all. It's more of a ring than like an anything when you bang on it. And the couple minutes, the peephole slides open. Hey, what can I do for you? Kind of peeping out. Half elven features very distinctly seen as it kind of peers through the window, trying to take everybody in. What do you want?
We're just new in town and looking for work.
Came to the right place. You see how many job postings. Everybody's looking for work.
Sure seems that way.
It's an exodus, I tell you. They're all leaving.
Yeah, I noticed there were a couple groups of people leaving as we were entering town. They were kind of vague on what they're doing. Can you tell me what's going on? Tell us.
No one really knows. You know, those Eladrin, they're mysterious on top of just being elves. I would know. Just nobody knows. Nobody understands. But about a week ago, they all just decided that they had to go home.
There's no events that preluded that? Nothing, no comet in the sky or omens or increase in crime or
Just
giant crazy lizards? Or...
just being weird. Yeah, you know, I hate to talk bad about my kin, but they just, who knows? Maybe a tree fell down somewhere.
If nothing unusual happened to cause this, and what's up with all the no wizards stuff?
Oh, oh man, you're not from around here, are you?
No, I thought we covered that.
Okay. So, and he kind of like looks out. You just see him like look off into the distance. See over there? That's Thay. That place has caused more death and destruction for our people than anything else in the world. We're stuck here on this peninsula. We can't really go anywhere. They're powerful wizards. But you know what? We're still here.
So it's mostly just problems with Thay rather than wizards in general.
Well, that's what they are.
We have lost a
Yeah.
kobold.
We are going to fix that.
Oh.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So this is what we'll do. We will take our break right now. We'll give John a chance to come back, and if not, I have cameras set up. I just have to realign them for.
He lost his power.
Oh, shit.
Okay. All right. So we will take our break. I will reline cameras. It is currently 8:11. We'll be back in about 10 minutes with some cameras realigned. Maybe John will be back by then. And then we'll keep going about town as you talk to Sir Timon. Just while I get that in there. All right. To everybody watching, thank you. As always, to my players. I love you guys. Thank you for this. And yeah, we'll be back in about 10 minutes. See you then. All right. Yes, we are back. We are going to just do a little bit of housekeeping here real quick while we fix our camera situation. Boom. Shrink it down. All right. So before we went to break, our party had traveled to the city of Velatalar and had seen some Eladrin traveling about rather innocuously. Nothing to see here. They had come to the fortification. Oops. Do I not have one? There we go. Cool. All right. And just like that, we are back. Fabulous. All right. So we met Sir Timon at Griffin Height Keep, fortified kind of citadel and armory for the city. They knocked on the door and were inquiring, and mostly as it pertained to the wizards policy on wizards that seems pretty well established in town. Sir Timon was going on just about general grudges towards Thay, their history of like warmongering against the people of Aglarond, and just a litany of kind of nonsensical and like the battle of this and the time they did that, and he just is rambling, is not even paying attention to see if anybody's listening. all you hear behind this door, projected out through this little hole in this big steel door, is him just rattling off a bunch of atrocities that Thay has betrayed on these people.
Do these sound like the ramblings of a smart man or a less smart man?
His name's actually Clammerjack Jr.
Give me an insight check.
Surely.
Is that everyone or just Banquo?
Yeah. If you're curious about him just kind of ranting and raving.
15.
15.
Dirty 20.
Okay. Daemion, don't care.
Not really.
Okay. He seems smart. Banquo, some of the things he's going to mention are going to be kind of historical events that you've probably heard of one or two. They'll line up. He's just very passionate and feels like he's definitely been wronged, or his people have been wronged. And he just rattles this off as if his entire life's purpose has been to protect these people from Thay.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
fortified city probably is.
That certainly answered my question, and about 20 that I did not ask.
Mhm.
But I'm definitely getting that it's just, Thay wizards and not, say, all individuals who possess magical abilities. So that's good to know.
Yeah.
And if you do make it out and you get out into the woods there, keep an eye out for any abominations. Some of those wizards over there were doing some less than ethical experimentation, and occasionally one of those freaks wanders in over here, and we got to take care of it.
I'm sorry. Did someone say abominations? It's smiting time.
Yeah. Is there anything in that particular realm that's, the job board's a little cluttered? Is there anything in particular that's needed in that
Just
area of interest?
you'll know them when you see them. They very much don't belong. If you knew anything about these woods, they very much don't belong. But there was a part of Thay where they just decided that they were just going to conduct just horrendous experiments and created these things that they just let loose into the countryside, and occasionally they find their way out here. Lost 3 men the last time one of them came through. Never seen anything like it.
What did it look like?
Bunch of mouths, bunch of teeth, bunch of arms. Couldn't tell you what it was.
On our way into the city, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Does that sound like anything like that Tess in her magical studies and probably magical warnings from teachers might have heard of?
Give me a history check.
Actually, it's 24.
You've heard of the things that, the wizards of Fae were known for, and some of their more, not just aggressive acts towards other peoples, but just their unethical view on aspects of life, that their own experiments would be just unique to whatever they were trying to achieve.
On our way in into the city, I noticed there were some what looked like ruins off towards the coast. Can you tell us anything about those?
What's that?
9.
Oh. What? The inn? The big building, like just right up against the woods? That place?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Oh man. Alice has got the racket going on over there. You know how many adventurers stop there on their way into the Feywild to find fortune and glory?
I suppose I don't.
Yeah, no, that place does very well. He does very, very well for himself.
Is that the direction that these abominations come from, or is it
Yeah,
just the forest in general?
they come from the east.
Okay. Well, I suppose if you don't have any wet work for us, we'll be on our way.
What direction were the Eladrins heading again?
They were heading east into the woods.
That's what I just wanted to confirm.
Fortune and glory, he says.
At any point, if any of you say it belongs in a museum, I will applaud.
I gotta find something that belongs in the museum first.
So he kind of goes back and is like, always remember, don't trust a wizard. Slams the thing shut. And then you can even hear him kind of muttering to himself, like just about other, deeds that Faye had done them. As he just kind of voice trails off into the distance, you hear another heavy door open and close.
Tess looks at the others and goes,
So I think that guy likes wizards.
"You gave it away." Yeah, I think that I'm kind of keen on heading east. We probably want to be a little careful not to get lost in the actual Feywilds.
Well, if that inn is where adventurers typically go before heading out that way, it seems like the most logical place to go for information.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basall, say nothing if you agree.
How would
Right.
you like to get there? You want to go back out and cut through the field, or?
I'd be fine taking the scenic route through the city just to kind of
Makes more sense.
be a looky-loo.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. You make your way north along the street, just making your way, the water, the sea of fallen stars in front of you, ships just coming and going out of the docks, bunch anchored offshore, waited for their turn. Off in the distance, you can even see cranes used to unload cargo. That's how kind of established this is as a shipping port. As you make your way, you see still a smattering of signs. Help wanted, an arrow towards this place. Help wanted, arrow in here. All at the bottom, every single one of them. No wizards. Make your way past number 4 on the map into the markets. The stalls are almost all empty with notifications of stall available, stall available, stall available. No wizards, no magic items.
I feel like they'd save a lot of ink if they just had like signs on the walls outside? Or just posted here and there?
I mean, forget signs. At this point, it would be cheaper to just play like an illusory sound over the entire city, just saying, "No wizards."
They don't want it
I
to
mean,
go.
who would-
They don't want
who
it to
would
go
create it,
unsaid.
though?
Somebody ritually cast Skywrite.
But who will ritually cast it?
Yeah. They just don't want it to go unsaid.
Yeah. All right. So if we're walking through the market, I will kind of try to mentally note anything that's actually for sale that I might want to stop by later.
Okay.
I guess I would probably try to look for like a weapon shop that's actually open or something like that, somewhere where I can look into the relative value of the Melvaunt steel and the Mirabar steel, just in case there's some information to be had about like how much it costs over here versus what it was worth in Melvaunt.
Okay. You don't see any weapons stalls available. Maybe they've closed. Maybe this isn't the kind of market for that.
Okay.
But you don't see anything. You make your way through the streets. Everybody seems going about their business. Everybody's polite. Gives you the little nod as you walk by. There are a disproportionate amount of elven kind. Elves, half elves, a couple of, kind of well-meaning drow running around. Anything else? No. Okay. As you start to turn towards the north east gate, on your left, you will see a very large temple with a very with a large dome and a color scheme that you recognize, with a very dark black kind of part at the top, white at the very bottom, and slowly grading into a very neutral gray about halfway up on the building. Past that, you will see a large cemetery, very large, almost entirely full. Some new graves, some old graves, as well as a statue of a dog sitting facing east towards the woods.
Does the
Okay.
I was just gonna ask if the dog is that any kind of familiar iconography?
It looks just like a devoted dog. Just nothing. Just dog.
Just
Is it
stone good boy.
Hachiko?
Maybe.
Say what, Raz?
I was wondering if it was based on Hachiko. But that might be a Japan nerd only piece of information.
It is not. It is not a Japan nerd only thing. I'm not saying it's not. Shut your mouth. Past the otherwise open gates, similar to the gates you encountered on your way into Griffin Height Keep, the road seems to split. And as you make your way out the gates, off in the distance, down each one of the paths as they head into the woods, you see what appear to be more Eladrin making the trip into the woods. They're pretty far along, a couple hundred yards, but you can see them, familiar silhouette of people carrying things, groups together by season, making their way into the woods. Eventually, you make your way down the road. You come to what appears to be a former, manor house of somebody important. It's very large. It has what some would consider grounds. But it has been converted into this kind of much more contemporary style. And on it, you see a sign that says the Veiled Woods Inn. Everything looks very nice. It's very freshly painted. It's a nice place. If you were to convert like a rich person's home into a Faerunian Airbnb, this is what you'd get.
Running Airbnb. I dig it. All right. Are there any of the Eladrin stopping there, or are they just walking right past?
They're just going right past it.
Okay. Are there any adventurers out? Adventurer-looking folk?
Not outside.
If this barkeep will be as good as the last one.
I don't think
We'll
anyone's
find
as
out.
good as Lyle.
I'm sorry, say what, Tess?
I was just saying I don't think anyone's as good a barkeep as Lyle, but
I don't know. It could be
Yeah,
like a
so-
Nurse Joy situation.
Lyle too.
Kyle.
Gosh.
Well, only one way to find out, right?
As you press your way into the door, the great room is empty, save for one Goliath in what appear to be very ornate and kind of flashy robes, at like barely kind of getting into a table. It just doesn't fit. Nothing to scale. And a summer Eladrin behind the bar, just pacing back and forth, just looking over at the Goliath, looking at you. Hey, real quick, anybody want to buy a bar?
Not in the market right now.
Sorry, can't help you.
You didn't see the sign outside? Man.
Best to just walk past it.
So,
I saw the no wizard sign.
not mine. Mine says bar for sale, reasonable offers accepted, wizards, even wizards.
Well, in that
I need to sell
case-
this bar.
Why though?
I don't think you're going to understand without me just sounding just crazy.
I'll
Maybe
take that
start-
chance.
Yeah, maybe start with selling us some drinks, and then we'll work our way towards
Sure,
that.
sure.
That's the bar.
Kind of reaches down. Or is this like, this is a nice wine I just got from Chult. Fresh harvest, 3 years in the bottle, in a cave. If you know anything about Chult, it's hard to keep wine at temperature. Brought here at great expense. It's the kind of thing my clientele expects and enjoy, and it's on the house. And he's going to pour you 3 normal size wine glasses, and as he's done pouring your 3, so anyway, about a week ago, I woke up with a fever, and he knowingly looks at everybody. Yes. Summer. Fever. Calm down. I get it. It's not that. It's something I cannot contend with. And it is telling me that I have to go home. And I can't go because I need to sell the bar. I can't just leave it here.
That must mean a lot to you.
It's a great place that needs to be preserved. Adventurers such as yourselves are not always treated very well in the realm of accommodations. You're viewed as rowdy, unsociable, dangerous even. Here,
It's fair.
sure. Here, we'd cater to the adventurer with class, the adventurer with taste, the adventurer who enjoys the nice things in life. And to be honest with you, what's in that woods? People show up here and they're willing to pay top dollar just in case this is the last place they ever stay.
So you must have noticed that other of your kind.
It's all of
your
us.
ilk.
It's all of us. It's all of us. And I can't go. I gotta sell this bar. I want it to be somebody who understands what this place is, what it means, and is going to preserve it.
But why is it that you're so ready and willing to just leave under this this fever?
I don't know. I don't know. And that is probably the worst part. I like it here. I live a very long time. This is about as perfect of a life as can exist for me. I don't want to leave it.
On a what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't know. He has the idea. And he looks at the barkeep and casts a quick dispel magic on them.
I was gonna do an identify.
This is a very long pause.
I know. I just wanted to see what the exact wording was. You cast your spell. You see its kind of visual representation of it going over him, but nothing changes. It is not a spell.
Worth a shot.
Yeah. I'll ask him if it's only the Aglarond that are leaving. Why does the town seem so empty? Were y'all that heavily represented in the population up until last week?
There was a lot of us. We came to this city because it was so close to our home, and waited for a day that we thought would never come. It's legend. We're elves. Tell us things that are going to happen in 1,000 years and we'll believe you. But apparently it's true. We're going home, and
Are you from the Feywilds originally, like you personally?
No. I grew up here. I was an adventurer in Thay for a little bit. Killed some wizards, came back, was a hero, bought the place, fixed it up. I don't want to go. This painting us all that we need to be dancing in the woods around a campfire while humming under the moonlight. It's no.
So were your parents the ones that came here originally?
Yes. They didn't care for the frolicking in the moonlight, Sealy Court, none of that. No. Nobody wants that. Nobody realistically wants it. Everybody only says they do because we never had it. And now it's here. And it seems I don't have a choice.
Well, how much do you want for your bar?
10,000.
Yeah, that's not. No.
How much you got?
Closer to 10.
Well, how much closer?
Oh,
A tenth.
I'm very confused. Did you just say you have 1 gold?
No, a tenth of
No.
what he's asking.
yeah.
Less, in fact.
Yeah.
Not even quite that
I'm,
much.
a little under that too.
I have
I don't know
9%
about a
of that.
bar. I don't know about a bar. We wouldn't really
Yeah,
be
no,
the best caretakers in our line of work. And it kind of
definitely
sounds
not.
like
I was just, curious about how desperate of a fire sale this is.
and business sounds like it's kind of drying up a little bit too.
That too. Yeah.
But more information is always welcome. We heard some others talking about like you couldn't return for a while. Is that accurate? Did the pathway close?
Maybe I'm a bad Galadrin. I don't really know. Sounds like a bunch of stories that you tell your kids. Ooh. So details aren't specific. Supposedly, our homeland was haunted by something that prevented us from returning. The smart amongst us believe that place doesn't exist, so you make this elaborate story about it being haunted, so nobody can go home to a place that doesn't exist. Nobody asks any questions. Ooh, we want to go, but we can't.
And out of curiosity, about how long ago, like, did your parents come here?
I don't know. 300 years? Yeah, about that.
Mm. All right.
Do you know anything about the? I guess when's the last adventures that you've seen coming through here, and did they mention anything interesting lately?
It's been quiet around here, actually. We usually only get adventures when something bad happens. But lately, there hasn't been a lot of them. We've seen them in the docks. They would make their way into town, find out everything's kind of cool around here, and get back on the boat and keep sailing for bigger things. It's been bad for me for business, but sleep better at night knowing that there's not something out there that's calling all these people from God knows where.
No trouble from like abominations or anything. I've heard a little bit of rumors about that.
Every once in a while, Timon does good taking care of him. He'll go as far as the Thay border, but he won't step foot across it. So if anything makes its way into Aglarond, if it doesn't get taken care of by somebody out there, he'll march his men out there. But if he chases them and they go back across that line, he's not chasing them.
Reasonable.
Yeah. How far to the Thay border, out of curiosity?
About 4 days. Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter if you go through the woods.
Were there a lot of legend in Thay when you were traveling there?
I didn't see any. We're just going through the Vale in the woods. It's a thing here. It's why we're all here. It's why everybody's some kind of elf in here in town. The Feywild's right there. It's why I'm here.
Yeah.
You must know a good bit about the town.
Sure.
I've only heard rumors and hearsay about the way the government works here. And I remember there was something off and weird about it, but I don't quite remember what the situation is.
Yeah, off and weird. That's pretty fair. So we are run, despite our prejudices and hatred of Thay, by a mageocracy. It is a council of 9. Nobody knows who they are. They sit in their palace in the inner city and have magical artifacts and scrolls brought into them from Thay. They grow more powerful. They rule justly, I suppose. But
don't piss off that.
Nobody knows anything about him. And at this point, with everything kind of going well, maybe it's best not to ask.
Maybe.
Going well, except half their town wandering off.
Yeah, trust me, it is not because of this place.
Well, no, but have there been any investigations on an official level to what's going on? Like any checking in, making sure everything's all right? Like, I'd be a little worried.
He looks at you. Looks at Banquo. We're all kin. Maybe distant kin, but kin nonetheless. And to outsiders, we're weird and mysterious. To ourselves, we're weird and mysterious. Probably most people just dismiss it as, well, that's just the Eladrin being the Eladrin. Nobody's hurt that we know of. Everybody goes. Everybody seems very happy to go. I am just unable to go presently.
Hey, while we're here, I did see a market. Do you know any, like, I mean, with they right next door, do you know any spots that might sell, like, good defenses against magic users, that kind of thing? I imagine.
You're going to have to go to the docks for that. You can imagine this town's stance on magic and magic items. But with that stance being so firmly expressed, there's quite the black market. at the docks that exists, specifically knowing that this is a place for that kind of thing.
I guess I think that with a lot of invasions, that'd be kind of like anti-magic would be more something that's kept on hand.
We'll let wizards rule us, but we won't let them sweep the streets.
Know your place, High Mage.
Yeah.
At the top.
The hell's an archmage? What do you do? Hold up a building? Get out of here. So you can see him sweating and just kind of just what any person existing in this world would just recognize as like extreme anxiety. Like my man is stressed out.
Well, if I come into 10,000 gold that I can spare, maybe I'll help you out. But in the meantime, what do you know about the Goliath over there?
He leans in. I think he's seen enough signs to question whether the rest of the journey is going to be worth it. I don't know if you've seen this. He is going to stick out like a sore thumb. And those robes do not help. He will pass probably 40 signs that say no wizards. You would think long and hard about that too, I would imagine.
Yeah, but do you know where he's headed? Like why he's here?
Either he wandered out from behind the veil, unaware of where he was, or he got off a boat without thinking about where he was.
Well, I guess one more question about town, if you'll humor me. We passed by a temple on the way out here, and a cemetery with what's clearly a guard dog staring down Thay. I'm just wondering, what's the story with these?
The temple's a new order, just recently established. To hear them tell it, there was a shifting of the hierarchy of the gods on Mount Celestia, resulting in new places of worship and people to be worshipped. They come in, been pretty popular. Their kind of views on things really kind of mesh what's going on here. We believe in dying and fighting with honor, and that is not something to be mourned. Instead, they pray for those who have yet to return to the kind of unknown fate of those missing. And the dog is just a reminder that those who go missing are missed by the people here, and that we will be waiting every day for all those who are missing to return, and to return to their loved ones.
Does this god of yours have a name? Well, of theirs.
It's not mine. I don't know, something short. Bell, I think it was. I don't know. It's interesting enough.
It's a weird name for a god.
Elves are, our lifespan to trivialize or to spend a lot of time contemplating life and death is fruitless for how long we live. So, yeah. But for the shorter-lived races, I imagine it's comforting, and it probably provides something that they lack with their short lifespans.
Well, I appreciate the drink, but
Absolutely.
no, I look to the other two. What do y'all think? Should we take a quick look in the woods, or want to go head to the docks, or do you want to maybe stop by the temple and figure out what their deal is, or anything else? I'm just listing out the things that I'm considering doing.
I wouldn't mind checking out the dock. Could be some useful stuff there.
What's up, Doc? What else do we got? I don't know. I mean, obviously the most compelling thing is this weirdness that's going on with the Aglarond.
Yeah. Everything else is kind of like, oh, new town, who dis? But that's definitely the thing that sticks out. I agree.
At first, it was whatever, just hey, they're going somewhere
going
else.
home. Yeah.
Good for them. But like the barkeep, man, this is weird.
Yeah, he's very lucid for someone who seems to be under some sort of almost control.
The thing that gets me is like doesn't want to leave. Feels compelled to do so anyway.
Yeah.
Like against all better judgment.
Yeah, but with the wherewithal to close out his business and get his affairs in orders and all that.
It's very odd.
Uh-huh.
You know, there's things carried in the blood too that aren't necessarily something you can just remove.
May not be able to remove it, but maybe we can go study it. I'd love to go take a peek.
And I mean, it's not as if we're sitting on any great leads right now. And this is definitely something on the scale of what we've seen before.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, I don't know, we have at least a couple people whose path went through town not too long ago, and the timing matches what we've been told already. The hunch about like folklore. Hey, we've got folklore pointing towards this. We got legend. I feel like we've got a lead if we want to take it. Just, I also think that maybe we want to be a little more prepared than we were in Melvaunt, but I don't know.
Well, I'm up for a walk in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Little stroll.
Is anybody against it, I guess?
Above the table, are we looking to just like scout in, or?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if we find a portal to the Feywild, I'm not ready to 20-minute adventure into the Feywild, in and out.
Yeah.
But maybe we can, maybe we can
just hang
see.
out. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Actually, both Thorn and Peduncle are Fey spirits, so they'd be fine.
Yeah.
They'd be going home too.
I also
Sweet home,
think
Alabama.
both,
Nice.
both above table and at the table. Sorry, my partner's being distracting with the cat.
Is your partner being distracting under the table?
I need to disconnect from the call.
I rolled deception about
what the hell is
why.
What the hell was I saying? Above table and at the table. Tess and I are both of the opinion that, hey, before we go off to like do stuff, we should probably rest. Again, not go into like a short spell slot, so to speak. For example.
Oh, right, because you did a detect magic, huh?
Yeah, I mean that's not like just in general.
Yeah, I was about to say, what spell slots have we used other than your?
I was saying like just if we go in and we've used other stuff, hey, let's come back. Let's find somewhere to crash for the night before we deep dive in.
I suppose we could rent a room here so that we have a place to come back to.
Yeah.
We're all like huddled over in the corner so that
so this weird ass Goliath can't hear us.
Oh, did we even ask this guy's name? We did not.
No.
Barkeep's gonna come up and be like, "Well, I don't have any rooms to rent, but you can buy my bar."
Yeah.
A room is 10,000 gold.
Yeah. Lasts
I'll give
forever
you a
or until
for
somebody
one.
else takes it. Yeah. Still no late checkouts though. Yeah, I'll lean back to the bartender and I'll, even though he said that the drinks were on the house, I'll slide. I don't know. Do I have a vague idea of how much these drinks would cost anyway? Without asking him, I'm trying to play it cool.
They're going to be quite, if you know anything about wine, they're going to be quite pricey.
Okay.
Probably 3-4 gold a piece.
Okay. I'll just slide 10 gold across the table as a tip, and I'll say I appreciate the drinks and the talk. While we're not in a position to buy your bar, I'd love to rent a couple of rooms just so we have a place to stay while we're visiting town.
Sure. You know what? How about this? I need something dropped off at the docks. I let you stay here the night. You go drop this off for me. Bring back what you get in exchange. And we'll call it even.
So Banquo is not even concerned with the nature of it. I don't care if it's drugs or weapons or whatever, but it just kind of looks to Tess and Daemion and presumably Basall.
Seriously, I'm sitting here
Sounds good to me.
definitely suspicious.
Oh yeah.
But paying work.
Yeah. Let me. Oh. So I was just doing does Tess even does that come up on her radar as being sketchy because she's kind of not in that world? And I rolled a nat 20. Can I vibe check this guy?
Vibe check.
What for the errand?
Yeah,
you want to see if it's sketchy?
To do sketchy shit.
Yeah, you can go ahead. You can go ahead and give me a vibe check.
I'm renaming my divine smite to vibe check.
Yeah, I mean, can I use the nat 20 that I accidentally rolled, or do you want me to roll again?
Just by its, without even getting into what it might possibly be. The favor and errand in and of itself is just sketchy. Nothing particularly sketchy about this person asking you to do this time, but inherent in the actual task and objective is a certain level of sketch.
This die, I will also say, I've rolled it 4 times tonight. It's gotten me 18, 19, 19, 20. So whatever's going on there.
It's gonna roll in that one here in a minute. You just gotta pull out a hammer and destroy it. You had your chance.
So anyway, yeah, like
I'm not bothered by any of this level of sketch at all.
What are we doing? Like, what do you need us to transport?
He's like, just 1 second, and he looks over to see what the Goliath's doing, and then kind of ducks under the bar and pulls out a box about like this big. Not very big. Anything close?
Like smaller than a tissue box.
2 decks of cards stacked on top of each other.
Oh. Teeny tiny.
It's a nice wooden box. Not like milled and cut like, a non kind of elven would have. Very much kind of fashioned out of like naturally shaped, looks like bark. And then the lid is also kind of a curved piece of bark off of a much larger tree. It's got little bits of lichen on it, some leaves.
Does this look like any kind of wood that I might have worked with at any point?
It's birch.
Okay. Does he put it down, or is he just like holding it?
He just holds it up.
I'll hold that in my hand.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Who are we going to be talking to at the docks? Just find somebody at the docks that wants it.
It's somebody in particular. I need you to find an elf. Surprise. Named Black Bart.
Found one.
Black what?
Black Bart.
Is he a sailor? Is he a dock worker?
Of a kind.
That just raises further questions.
I am not at liberty to discuss Bart's business outside of our particular transaction.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't care about his business. I just want to know how I'm going to know who it is.
You go to the docks. You'll see him. He's the furthest mooring out of the center dock structure.
Perfect.
I'll try to take the box again.
Okay. Gonna hand it to you.
I'm gonna try to
he
open
will
the box.
He's unconcerned. It's like a branch about like this big, with some leaves on it, and three red berries, like all in a nice little bunch.
Do the berries look good?
I eat it. I don't eat it.
I mean, they look ripe. They look healthy. They don't look familiar to anything you've seen.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down for this.
Very well.
I have no objections to this. I don't even care if they're drugs.
In exchange, he will be handing you about 5,000 gold. This way you know what to expect in kind.
Oh.
And also to be sure that Bart doesn't short me.
I thought you were saying, Manny, that the barkeep was handing us 5,000 gold. I'm like, what the hell does he need 10,000 gold for then?
The tolls are expensive. Here you go.
Petty cash.
Yeah. No speed
All right.
pass.
Yeah, it sounds like we've got a deal. Lodging for some berry sales.
And Manny, even with like proficiency in nature, no kind of read on what these are.
No. The default probable answer is going to be Fae.
Yeah.
It's mysterious and weird. It's the Fae, isn't it? No, is it the Fae? All right, it's the Fae. Yeah, it's weird. There's elves and Aladdin everywhere. Yeah,
But they are certainly red, and probably berries.
Bad check.
Okay. Yeah, just parts with it like happily, and you can see it's not in a very like impressive or even secure vessel. It is in and of itself a segment of a branch, a twig.
Does the never mind. Tess is going to close the box and just kind of slide that over to Banquo without really looking at it again. It's not my line of work.
Yeah, I'll just stick it in my bag and merrily trot off whistling a tune. Like, no, I don't even care.
Okay. All right. He was like, you can go now. You can go in the morning. It's up to you.
Oh, yeah.
I need it done.
Yeah.
Nah, screw it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't want to be in possession of this for any longer than we have to. That's just unnecessary risk.
Well, we're
That's
just
fair.
holding it for a friend, right?
Oh, that's not what I'm worried about. We're the ones holding it now. We're the targets for thieves and what have you. Nah, not guarding this shit while I sleep. Fuck that.
Remember when it was like, hey, let's try not to make this job more complicated?
All we have to do is walk like a distance.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
It just
Yeah,
so
you don't-
happens that, there's a big glowing red eye and a volcano on the other side.
Yeah.
You're not going that far. All right.
We couldn't simply walk there.
You don't need me to send eagles. All right. So we're going to strike while the iron is hot. Don't want to deal with it. All right.
Dilly dally.
There's a party of blacksmiths, my man.
All right. You make your way through back into town, past the cemetery, this time on your right. The temple of... Hold on. The Peaceful Beyond, the House of the Peaceful Beyond, also on your right. You follow the cobblestone streets through town, every so often noticing another vacant house, house available, house for sale. Some of them abandoned with doors left open. People just rolled out. Some with possessions still inside. And as you make your way along the water's edge and see the docks in action, boats are in and out. Just nobody dilly-dallies too long. As soon as one hits the dock, like a mess of half-elves run up there, get everything unloaded, load whatever's going in, and it's exceptionally efficient. And as a center of commerce and of trade, it needs to be, or else this town doesn't get paid. And so it's moving and it's moving. And as you make your way, there just appears to be one dock where that kind of, system doesn't seem to be working, as one boat sits absolutely static, anchored down, tied off real well, sails not even up. And it sits there. There is no big rush to unload anything. This boat sits alone at the end of this dock. Hold on.
Just chilling, huh?
Yep.
On the map, is it this one? The one at the end of
Yes.
the pier with the 3 on it?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. I'm thinking I'll just stroll up and... Oh, Black Bart.
you make your way down the dock, and you notice that their crew, or the kind of people occupying the dock at this time, are not half-elves like everywhere else. These all appear to be tieflings.
Interesting.
Too much to hope that Lyle got a job on a ship.
He just rolls up. I'm on a boat.
What is he, Isaac on the Love Boat? Hey. They, they all kind of, not that they're doing much. They're certainly not loading or unloading, preparing a boat, washing a boat, doing anything. They're sitting around leaning against pilings, carving knives into stuff, sharpening knives, some drinking, some engaged in card games. But they're doing everything except like hustle like the other docks are. And as you get closer, they all kind of stop what little they are doing and all kind of begin to get up and kind of seem to purposefully kind of make their way to obstruct you from kind of proceeding any further down the docks. They don't say anything. They're not aggressive, but they just seem to be going out of their way to just stand in your way and keep you from moving.
Looking at Banquo like, hey, this is your bag.
We didn't ever get the barkeep's name, did we?
Alice.
Oh wait, we did get it. Yeah.
Oh, did we?
From the Sir Thyman.
Oh, right. What was the name?
Right.
Alice.
Banquo will just look at them cheerfully and say, which one of you fellas is Black Bart?
Who's asking?
Alice.
Look around. Do you have it?
I look with very obviously shifty eyes. I have it or maybe if Black Bart's here, I have it.
Black Bart's here if you have it.
Seems a little circular.
Fuck it. Yeah, we got it.
Let me see it.
I use we instead of just me. Hold on a sec. We'll check something. I will attempt to use prestidigitation to create a non-magical trinket or illusory image to fit in my hand, and I'll just pull that fake thing box out of my pocket and stick it back in.
Is there a thing against my perception to see it, or it appears real, right? It just goes away after a minute.
After 6 seconds.
Okay. But it is real, right? It's not an illusion.
You create the trinket, so
okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So they're going to see the box. You made the box, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So look at it. Okay. On the boat, at the wheel, you'll find him.
I appreciate it.
And with that, they're all going to kind of move out of your way, not exceptionally quickly, not with like any real purpose, but just kind of slowly meander out of your way.
Good enough for me.
This is kind of gonna do that hi thing as she walks through, like super out of place.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go back to your card game and your knife throwing. So you make your way down. Anybody who would look behind them, every single one of the tieflings is just following you down the dock. You get to the boat. It doesn't look like it has moved in a while. The ropes appear to be rotted, dry rotted even. Like whatever this is, it's been here for a while. And up on deck, probably about 8-9 feet above the dock, you hear the clattering of wood and just kind of the general like orders that you would hear aboard like a sailing vessel.
Stuff about landlubbers and that kind of thing.
Yeah, shivering, timbers, hatches, batting them. Yeah. The huge. The nautical huge.
Fucking squids. All right, yeah, I'll just keep on walking.
Okay.
Fly casual.
I don't have casual. Up the gangplank, which is kind of steep. It's high tide currently, and you make your way up. Is everybody going or just Banquo?
Going with Banquo.
Daemion, you going?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought I was muted. Yeah, we can't leave him alone.
Okay.
That wouldn't be cool.
You make your way up, and you see another black tiefling at the wheel of the ship, dressed in the kind of traditional regalia of a sea captain. You know, epaulets, the hat, the shirt, everything, except much more of like a My Chemical Romance color scheme. So emo captain. It's all black with like dark gray and like shocking purple. But everything else, aside from the color palette, is, you know, a well-to-do naval captain. And you see him up there spinning the wheel, just barking orders at nobody.
Like he's passing the time, or like he might be crazy.
Maybe both. Probably both.
Like pulls his sword out, he's like waving it around.
Don't think this waste your boat.
Sword down, goes back to the wheel, starts barking orders.
I really like this guy.
It's so cringe.
So you just gonna stand there and watch my man like do his thing?
Just for a moment.
Okay.
This is
I look. What do the other tieflings seem to be like? Are they just like nodding in agreement to his odd
They're
orders?
far
or are
away.
they
Like they
very
obstructed
cringe?
your path, but
Yeah.
they're 120 feet away, like down on the docks.
Okay.
you said the boat's like kind of jacked up, right?
It's high tide and it's a pretty big boat. So in order to get up it, you have to go up like a pretty steep incline.
No, I meant you, like it had like some issues with like dry rot. Like,
Oh, the
metaphorically
ropes
jacked up,
you-
not like up there.
The ropes used to moor it to the dock are dry rotted.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the boat's really nice.
Okay, got it. I missed it when I went to the bathroom.
I instantly cut the ropes and we sail off, and this is now a pirate adventure.
Dragons can't get us out here.
Yeah. Fuck your dragons, I'm on a boat, pirates.
Oh shit, they can fly. Fuck, I forgot they can fly.
Well,
Oh.
sometimes they can fly until they see Daemion.
Hmm.
Then they gotta swim.
Or crash, as the case may be. Killing
Yeah,
cousins. Yeah, so he's just up there, like, barking orders. You see him, like, dramatically, like, spinning the wheel.
I'll
You practicing?
walk up.
Hi. Seas are a bit rough, mate. You know, careful not to go overboard. It's like spinning the wheel.
Can
Permission
respect
to speak
that.
freely, Captain? Sorry, go ahead.
No, just muttering to myself, like, yeah, all right. You do you.
Yeah, I'll be careful.
This is kind of busying yourself with like casting mending on the gnarly looking ropes.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
It's kind of okay. This is nice.
Permission to speak freely, Captain?
Aye, permission granted.
I've got the package from Ollis. Shiver me timbers.
Ollis. Who's that? One of the midshipmen?
That landlubber.
Oh, we kill landlubbers around here, mate.
That sea lubber.
Don't know what people love in the sea. Choppy out here, gross, storms, go down at any moment.
Right.
Uh-huh. We got a box for you.
Alright. Booty. Did you steal it?
In a manner of speaking.
All right. Good lads. Pirate's name it is. Let's see what you got.
I pull out the actual box this time.
Oh. Not as big as I thought it was. Bet you get that quite often. Open it up. I want to see it.
I open it up like I'm proposing, but without being on one knee.
Oh, that's a good lad. Yeah, that looks it. One moment. Hey, Mike, can you take the wheel?
Of course.
All right. Well, there's some rocks about, mate. Just don't crash us. We love this shit. And he kind of like disappears behind the kind of platform where the wheel is and opens a hatch. You see him like pull out like just a bunch of random shit. And, like finally, no, that's not it. Takes it, puts it down, shakes it. No. Ah, there we go. How much did he tell you? 3,000. Yeah, that's about right. Here. Oh,
Right,
thanks
price.
for the mate. Thanks for the wheel, mate.
Pretty sure he said 5.
5.
5,000.
5. Turn this boat around rather than be robbed. 5.
I guess you'll have to do just that.
No, mate. We got the winds at our backs. We're sailing. All right, hold on. 5. Oh, and they claim I'm a pirate.
I mean,
What's the weather like?
tell you what. You give me
it's a pretty
7,
day.
and I'll explain it to them when we get back.
7 more? Man, you're lucky I need that.
What we said.
All right. All right. I'll be damned if people call me a pirate ever again. Hand you like another sack. No, man. I need that one back. Puts it back.
I was about to give us like 7 cheese nips.
Grabs another one. Puts it out. I don't know, mate. That looks about right. It's definitely 3,000. I'll tell you that. He's handed out like 3 big, just massive bags. That's about right. Yeah.
Are the bags actually full of gold
Yes.
coins?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Can I kind of estimate by weight and like knowing how much that would weigh? Like, yeah, this is about right.
It's probably a couple thousand. It's a bit, and also just the size of the bag as well.
Okay. Does it feel like he's giving us 5,000, or does it feel like he's giving us like
His
golden
ADD
adventure?
3-card Monty, if the first bag was 3,000, you have at least 3 bags that size. A couple of them maybe more.
Oh. Hey, we can buy a bar now. Good news.
Well, we'll get these back to that landlubber, and we'll give him a good talking to about adjusting his prices for, honor.
Am I to understand we are in possession of 3 bags of 3,000 gold?
Yeah.
That is my understanding.
Just making sure.
I mean, you're going in this storm. You're just gonna paddle off the side, mate. You'll perish.
Not afraid of no storm.
Ah, that's a good lad.
Seen worse.
Aye, we have.
We're seasoned sea dogs.
Aye. The best captain ever. Yes. All right. Well, if you be disembarking, I appreciate your time. You gave him the box?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, that's lovely.
Pleasure doing business with you.
As soon as we get to shore, I can't wait.
Tess is gonna like hold out her hand, like pleasure doing business with you, and see if he shakes it.
He's gonna pull off his hat and do like a very like formal bow.
Can I try, like, while he's bent over, can I just like tap him with lesser restoration and see if he's like good?
Feels kind of a jolt go through him. Hi. Watch out for the storms, mate. Man overboard. He just starts kind of pointing things out, seeming more agitated.
This is just who he is.
Yeah.
All right, mates, if you're going to get going,
My
get
best.
going. The seas ain't getting any rougher and we ain't getting no closer to shore. We get any closer, we'll crash into the docks.
All right.
All right, mates, be careful.
Let's go.
Basall, could you hold these?
Puts in his bag. Off you go.
Man, I mean, 4,000 gold profit ain't bad.
Oh shit.
Yeah. That I don't feel. Oh, he was probably, well, maybe not him. Maybe his crew's a good person to ask about that, like, magic items thing.
Yeah, his one-man crew. Yep.
No, I meant like the actual, because I thought the tieflings were his employees.
Posse?
Yeah, posse, whatever. They're on the payroll.
For what it is.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever the profits here are. Clearly, it's not great margins.
Yeah.
Labor costs, real rough. Yeah, I mean, like, could we ask around about like stuff? I don't know how to do.
Yeah, what's up with your boy?
I kind of feel compelled to get quickly back to
Yeah, no
the inn
shit.
and
I thought we were
get
shopping.
this over with before something bad happens to us for carrying around this much money.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and nope, I'm not gonna do that because I don't have it. Tess, you want to cast invisibility, or Daemion, you want to cast invisibility on Basall?
Yeah. Oop. He is invisible.
Okay.
Why? Just because he's the one carrying the gold?
Yep.
Seems easier to just put it on the back of my horse and I can ride it all the way there.
Also, I think Basall can cast invisibility on himself as a firbolg, and he has more spell
Oh
slots.
yeah, he can.
Oh, maybe.
Okay.
Spending John's spell slots while he's not here.
You make your way back through the streets. As you make your way away from the docks, let me give you an idea. Like kind of down from the docks this way to this intersection here. As you make your way down, nobody seems to pay you any mind. There does seem to be kind of an acknowledgement that you are not, an everyday citizen of this town. Nobody's rude or anything, but everybody does kind of stop and not stop, but give you a longer than normal glare, just to kind of take your measure. And as you get to this intersection, you are going to see some people covered head to toe in dark purple cloth, like slits in their eyes, carrying 2 spears, and walking in formation around a cart that seems to be floating. As they like escort it through like down the road, and they stop, like they intentionally stop like foot traffic so that this kind of small procession can carry through. And as soon as they're far enough away, heading like this way into the inner city, they move and just kind of glare at you through their dark eye holes and move right along. Nobody seems to put up a fight of the citizenry who get stomped, and some people just stop and wait their turn patiently. There's not even like a sense of wonder, hey, what the hell is this? Everybody's... And it makes its way past, and you can see it make its way up to the stairs, heading into the inner city.
I feel like we might have just seen some of those city leaders we were hearing about. Maybe.
The temple.
The 9 council members, maybe.
Maybe.
I'll kind of try and catch someone's eye and ask, like, hey, who's that?
Oh, they're from the Palace of Symbol, our mage council. Those are probably artifacts that they got from Thay.
Oh, really?
Someone more of a something. Thank you.
Yes. They come through quite often. You're obviously not from here. Just the way you were looking and the kind of surprise. It happens quite often. Life is pretty good here, and if the knowledge that they acquire helps us lead this great life, then we're all for it.
Oh. Sorry, my mom was sending me a text that she just got attacked. She's playing a video game.
Oh.
She's playing Tiny Tina's Wonderland, but the preview just said I just got attacked, and I was like, "Mother, what?" Yeah. Shall we continue hustling back?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Hustling is right.
As the
As much as
kind of procession passes and everybody's allowed to continue back along their way, nobody seems bothered or inconvenienced. They just kind of all just go back exactly to what they were doing. The streets suddenly return to kind of a normal activity. You make your way out of the gate, and as you kind of clear the gate and make that slight little turn to the south, winding with the road, a imposing large feature in purple robes makes its way down the road. Heavy footsteps that you can feel as it clomps its way their way through down the road, leaving the Veiled Wood Inn.
are they walking towards us?
Yes, they are walking towards the city.
Once again, step to the side as though this is the normal procession that we just witnessed.
Okay, you're gonna get out of the. It's the Goliath from the bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're just gonna kind of step out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He kind of looks at you, kind of realizes that you just came from the city, and he leans down. Is it going to be okay for me in there?
Might be easier to be less obvious. Like, I didn't get grief, but I'm just kind of a normal kind of purple.
Understood.
Yeah. We didn't witness any direct hostility, but the signs are all there.
Yeah.
And he's going to snap his fingers, and he's going to take on a much more kind of like, definitely smaller, another half elf. This time dressed more like a merchant. Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wish me luck. And if all goes well, I'll see you tonight.
Buy a drink. First round's on me.
Outstanding. You see him take a deep breath. Okay. And he kind of starts walking towards town. Very committed. You can see it took like kind of an internal moment of, you know, like minor heroism for him to actually pick his feet up and go after stopping to talk to you.
Okay.
I almost don't want to know what scares a Goliath that much.
Bigotry.
You come back, you make your way back into the Veiled Woods Inn. Alice still behind the bar. This time, couple of bottles empty as he kind of sits there. Oh, great. You guys are back. Cool. How'd it go?
Hate us.
Maybe we should have talked before we came in real quick.
I mean, he paid us.
So, like, this is out of context, to split up the money from the 5,000 that he is owed and the 4,000 that we conned.
I know that. Tessa's one flaw on her sheet is can't keep a secret. So, like, hey, we got paid.
Cool.
Okay.
Great. Yeah, it's what, in a wagon outside or something? I was like, it's not easy. I didn't expect you to actually like carry it. I figured get like a wagon or something and just bring it here.
Something like that.
Okay.
Something like
All right. Cool. I didn't think you guys were going to be back so quickly. I'll go upstairs. I'll get your rooms arranged. You just bring the money in, and as soon as Lightning Caller gets back, we'll close down the bar for the night.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
All right. And he kind of goes back behind the bar, and you hear him up the stairs to the second floor, seemingly to get your rooms ready.
All right. At that point, y'all want to split up the gold from... We've got 2 bags of 3,000, so we just need to take 1,000 out of one of the bags and put it in not that bag.
Not that bag.
Yeah.
different bag.
Everybody good?
Yeah, works for
Everybody
me.
good enough to like rough out 1,000? You got to count it?
Rough out.
That looks good.
Yeah.
Out a
Yeah,
third.
can Tess kind of like, hey, I'm used to weighing things out quickly while working on the fly? Could she do her best estimate?
Yeah.
I think I have like some scales that I could use to make it a little easier.
Do you have scales?
I imagine it's part of like my alchemist supplies.
Okay. I mean, I don't know how
Nice.
easy it'd be to measure something that heavy. I imagine that's much more for like fine, precise like
Yeah, fair.
measurements.
Fair. Then I'll hit myself with guidance instead, I guess.
Okay. You rough it out. You have a pretty good idea. You don't know. Maybe Alice doesn't strike you as the kind to be able to count to 5,000 and have the kind of patience to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something, but I'm good.
You guys split it up outside. What'd you do with the money you kept?
I don't know how much that much money weighs. If it's just like something that we can split it up into our
It's
own
about
individual
240.
bags.
It's about 240 pounds.
Okay. But uncle.
But
I gotta
Uncle's
be
rich.
honest. I didn't know we were dealing with coin weight because this entire time I've already had like 1,500 gold on me.
Yeah.
I've got
I've had
900
Coin
something.
weight come into play before.
1,000 gold is 62.5 pounds.
Okay. Well.
Okay, I've been over
I- like I
this
said,
whole time.
Don't care. I assume it's on the horse. Yeah.
And figure one of us probably has a bag of holding now. Or can buy one.
We might need to buy one soon then.
Alright, fair enough.
I think out of context or out of character, Brackali, whenever we
Artist.
had our druid, applied karma.
Yeah.
He had his druid, I think, had a bag of holding, but
Yeah.
so yeah, we'll have to try to go get one off the black market, I guess. Until then, how much can Peduncle hold in his saddlebags?
A billion.
Cool.
D&D math, what up?
Uh-huh.
Yep, we had to go down this road, didn't we?
You know, they're the ones counting a poor crazy pirate out of his gold. That's just there like, sure. This is going well.
Okay.
I mean, he seemed to think that it wasn't that big of a deal, so still thought it was worth it.
So, Peduncle can carry over 500 pounds before having to worry about being encumbered.
Here you go, buddy.
Okay, then.
First National Bank of Peduncle.
Well, okay, that pretty much settles that, right?
All right. So you load up the horse with your maybe not ill-gotten, but not greatly gotten
Mail.
gains. Go back inside, pay Alice's money. Just kind of weighs it out, like shakes it. Did you count
X
it?
into the coin.
I don't know. And then you see him pull out like a very large scale from underneath the bar and put it on there. Shifts. I'll be damned. Wizard's pretty spot on. That's fine. Cool. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. I know it probably wasn't too much. I just want to say thank you for that errand. I can't leave the bar right now. I'm the only one here. So thank you. Your rooms are ready. I've gotten you very nice rooms, my friend, and he points to Basall. I even have one for you. We've had more than our fair share of adventurers. We have a very large, expansive property. We accommodate adventurers of all sizes and shapes, so you will have a room accommodated for you. like I said, we'll wait for Lightning Caller to return. I'll have a meal ready soon enough for when he returns, and then we'll lock the doors and we'll call it a night. Does that sound good? All right.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
Very well. He shows you up to your rooms, gets you kind of everybody settled in, and is like, all right, well, we'll wait for Lightning Caller to return, and then dinner will be right after that. Is there anything else I can get you?
Where did he say he was headed anyway? He seemed nervous.
He's been here for a couple of days. He has a meeting in the city that he's been kind of dreading. I hope for the best for him, but he was scared. You know, we don't get a lot of wizards around here, so I can't really tell him how it's supposed to go. But all right, if there's nothing else, you may all settle in. I will notify you when Lightning Caller returns. Again, thank you for going to see Black Bart for me. I appreciate it. He kind of turns and you hear him down the stairs. And he's left you to your rooms. They're all very nice. Velvet everywhere. Satin, like everything's very well appointed. The furniture's well crafted. The carpets are beautifully dyed. The tapestries hand woven. It is a very nice place. Depending on your situation and your life experience, it is very conceivable that this is the nicest place you've stayed at, short of like a castle or, you know, the home of nobility, but a place geared for people such as yourselves. It's very conceivable that this is the nicest place you've stayed at. All right.
All right.
And on that note, we will call it for the evening. I feel like it's a good place to rest. We've got enough nuggets out there in the city, aside from just the Aglarond thing, that hopefully we can come back to next week. All right. So yeah, that was our 10th episode spectacular. Nothing bad happened. You're welcome.
I mean, someone's power went out.
Sure. But
Yeah,
in game,
like
in game, nothing bad
game
happened. There was
finished.
no killing. Everybody's seemingly very polite. You met a couple.
Remember, nothing bad ever happens on the Aglarond Peninsula.
Yeah. So yeah. You know, I just wanted to kind of mellow everything out after the height and tension of the Topaz Dragon and the funeral procession. Yeah, so that was our 10th episode spectacular. Nothing spectacular about it aside from the fact that I like round numbers. We miss our friend John, storm warning, so we hope him and his family are safe. To those that remained, everybody have fun kind of fucking around town? Yeah?
Yeah, got some,
Made some money.
yeah.
just a little.
Yeah, pushing some weight. So,
Yeah, well, I mean, since we got screwed out of the second half of our payment from, you know, douche nozzle to great.
the lesser.
Yeah, I mean, Tessa's starting to consider leaving
A
the
life
Lords
of crime?
Alliance. Well, no, she. Well, I
Not
was
a
gonna say
life,
she's
maybe a
starting to
hobby.
Yeah.
starting to consider leaving the Lords Alliance. She's like, all right, well, I mean, I know the lucrative jobs now, I guess.
Yeah, all you got to do is get into the career of scamming crazy, you know, sunburnt pirates out of their money.
Mhm.
I tried really hard to make him not crazy anymore, and it didn't do anything.
That's just him.
That's just that guy. Word needs greater, one or the other.
He's got 2 brain cells left, and they're both fighting for dominance.
Mm-hmm.
Fighting for third place.
All right. So you saw them. No combat today. Everybody just kind of personified their characters in a very fabulous way, which is why I love them all. But behind them, they're even better people. So we'll say goodbye, do a quick little bit of business, and then get out of here on your Wednesday night. We'll start with who we've been avoiding going first the last couple of weeks.
I appreciated it today because I was very sleepy.
I know. I didn't. Today would have just been mean, and I didn't want to do it today.
Yeah.
So Tess, yeah, you facilitated the transporting of a mysterious object for money, which we broke down as by nature was sketchy. Brought it back. You got your money. You met an interesting person along the way. What's your thought of Aglarond so far, or Velatalar? It's not pretty nice, right?
It's a really weird thing to look for her to look around, be like, this is the most normalcy that I've had in like 4 days. Like just finding it here is bizarre. Very interested in whatever's going on with the Goliath right now. Just, hey, he's got some life experiences, and yeah, she's not good enough healer to help with whatever's going on with Black Bart. So
and tell us a little bit about our friend Robin.
Hello, I am Robin. I am Bardlock Cafe on most social medias. I have been playing with Manny for, 6 months now? Got to be a little bit more than that. No, 6 months. Since some of the one-shots, and have a character making very... Is it cameos if it's a whole church and they're not actually there?
I feel like it's an Easter egg.
Easter egg. There we go.
I think Easter egg is the proper term. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, so I got some eggs hidden in this campaign very suddenly, and I'm loving it. And yeah, been enjoying it so far, and gonna enjoy it for a couple more months at least.
Yeah, yeah, we got quite still a little bit to go. All right, awesome, Robin. Okay. As always, glad to have you. Thank you. Daemion, we made up for getting robbed. Well, having a deal not honored by the rightly elected mayor of Melvaunt, and in exchange, we robbed a crazy pirate, huh?
He wasn't elected by anybody.
I don't know. Well, yeah, I guess. I don't know the exact politics of selecting a captain, but yeah. So, Aglarond, what do you think of it? Pretty nice, right?
I mean, everything seemed fine for a minute, but the more we learn about this thing with the Eladrin, that's kind of concerning. Elves are typically very resistant to things like enchantments. So on the back burner, it's honestly kind of bothering him. Doesn't understand, especially meeting the barkeep, man, and they're like, I don't want to go, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to sell everything that I own and go. And it's like, why? Because I gotta. That's a terrible reason.
Trust me, I agree. Manny the Dungeon Master agrees. Compulsion is a terrible thing. However, it's quite the power narrative tool. So, Raz, always, thank you. I hope you had fun. We're making some money. And in a peaceful town. Hey. All right. Last but not least, our scholar. Banquo, you saw a little bit, little insight into how the kind of weird theory of a mageocracy in a town that hates wizards, as well as kind of their reason d'etre for the kind of cart coming through. What do you think about all this? And what do you think of the town?
Banquo is noting all of this, and he's got in his notes lots of questions to try to answer about just how this strange place runs, how the trade network works here, that kind of thing. He's a little wary that things are a little bit too easy, but at the same time, that's just kind of how he operates, just letting things happen.
All right. Awesome. So that has been our amazing cast. I adore them with every ounce of my nerd being, for coming through here and just hopefully getting as much from this as I get from them doing this. This has been an absolute blast. So we are through 10 episodes. We will be back next week this exact time, 7 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday for episode 11. No Eberron next week, so once again, all my D&D eggs are in this basket. And that'll be it for us tonight. Check me out on playing Kids on Bike one-shot April 10th, Sunday morning. I'll have some stuff about that on the chat and in the comments below on the YouTube channel. So to everybody who watched tonight, thank you so very much. To my players, as always, I love you guys. Thank you for coming out this weekend. And yeah, so that'll be it for us. Always remember, I love Dungeons & Dragons and the people who play it. And we'll see you back here next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time for episode 11, Dynasty of Dragons. And good night.